Hello everyone, you're watching CNN News 18 and I'm Maria Shakil. Some startling revelation has come to light in the Nikki Yadav murder case. Initially, it was believed that Nikki Yadav was murdered by her live-in partner, Sahil Gehlot. But now, probe reveals that Nikki was actually Sahil's wife. Nikki and Sahil got married on 1st of October 2020. Sahil's parents were aware about this marriage, but they did not accept it. Cut to 2023, that is this year, Sahil's parents pressurized him to marry another girl. Nikki discovered about Sahil's second marriage and she opposed it. 3 hours later, Sahil strangled the woman who was his first wife, stashed her body in a fridge at his dhaba and had adorned himself in a groom's finery, ready for the Fairas with another bride. Sahil came clean to his father about the murder. His family, in fact, helped him dump Nikki's body. Now, Delhi police has also arrested Sahil's father, 2 cousins and 2 friends and charged them for criminal conspiracy. But think about this girl, a young girl who was preparing for competitive exams and wanted to pursue PhD. She aspired to become a professor and her husband killed her for a second marriage.
किस तरह का ये मामला इन्वेस्टिगेशन में सामने आया?
मामला सबको आपको पता ही है, मर्डर का मामला है। उसमें आगे जो चीज़ें निकल के आई इन्वेस्टिगेशन में कि और भी 5 लोग इस पूरी कॉन्स्पिरेसी में शामिल थे। फादर, 2 कज़न, 2 दोस्त, उनको रात में गिरफ्तार किया हमने क्योंकि वो लोग भी पूरी तरह से लूप में थे इस सारे मर्डर के, उनके संज्ञान में था सब कुछ। उसके बावजूद वो लोग बारात लेके उसके साथ गए और शादी की। तो जो धाराएं लगती थी सबूत मिटाने की, हार्बरिंग की और पुलिस को ना बताने की, इतने जघन्य अपराध, वो सारी चीज़ें और कॉन्स्पिरेसी 120 भी लगा के उनको गिरफ्तार किया।
उसके फादर की क्या भूमिका रही है? क्या उनको पता था कि ये उनके बेटे की शादी पहले हो चुकी है और उसके बाद भी ये आपराधिक साजिश में शामिल है?
हाँ जी, उनको सारी बातें पता थी।
So a young girl has been killed only because she trusted the man she loved. What does it actually mean now? What does it actually mean for young, upwardly mobile girls who move away from their family? Because this girl, Nikki Yadav's family says they did not know about some Sahil Gehlot who existed in her life. It's a larger reflection on how the Indian society has become. What about the investigation? Let me bring in my guests. Yashwardhan Azad, former IPS officer. Ashwani Dubey is a lawyer at the Supreme Court. Dr. Jayanti Datta, clinical psychologist. We also have activist, writer Saira Shah Halim. Ashwani Dubey, this is a case of bigamy and murder, both punishable offences. It's a story of betrayal, love, marriage, murder. Where does the investigation go from here on?
Maria, with all condolences and all this family is suffering through this because of this incident. Second, Maria, in 2023, are we really a society where we can say that what Justice Verma has given after the Nirbhaya's case, the recommendations, the reforms, and the law to protect the women. And of course, we see there is a failure on the part of the executive. Second, Maria, whenever this kind of incidents happens, the victim's family do not report it due to fear of retaliation. Because either the perpetrators might be coming from financially stronger, influential families, or have strong political connections or belief, or the way they fear for the society and their reputation. But the thing is, these kinds of incidents, whenever it comes to the domain of the police must investigate it. Second, Maria, there is a preventive action. Under Section 149 of CRPC, police has powers to prevent any offense. So whenever police comes to the conclusion or it comes to the knowledge of the police, either to the beat constable or through their mukhbirs or through any other incident, they must take an action.
No, but Ashwani Dubey, how do you prevent a murder of this nature? Yashwardhan Azad, the question here is that this girl is vulnerable because her family doesn't know about this marriage. Nobody among her friends know about this marriage. And she trusts this man and this man's family is not ready to accept this marriage. So if anything, the entire conspiracy is hatched in somebody's house and that man is her husband. So that vulnerability aspect is at multiple levels.
No, you're absolutely right. It's very, very difficult to prevent this kind of tragedies because the whole relationship is mired in such secrecy, because if no one knows about it and there is no acceptance of this kind of a living relationship, say by the girl's family side, and there is a complete conspiracy going on from the boys' side, it's extremely difficult. And that's why, even last time I had said that the society, unless it accepts live-in relationship, because unless you accept, the girl is not going to come out and accept that she is in a living relationship like that. And as long as mired in secrecy, these kind of conspiracy will continue to be hatched. And therefore, in this particular case, it becomes more and more heinous crime because this becomes a pre-planned and a premeditated murder. But the last point I also like to mention, Maria, is that if you're in a relationship for 5 years and if you had also the validity of a Arya Samaj marriage certificate, then when you're getting such signs and you already have some legality connected to your marriage, you should have gone to your either parents or the police or somebody so that this tragedy could have been averted.
No, but Yashvardhan Azad, on one hand is Sahil's entire family who knows about this marriage. They are not in agreement with this marriage. They in fact have planned another marriage for their son. Sahil, of course, is a weak man who is not only ready to accept that he is already married, but he also goes on to kill his wife. And then, it is being seen as a live-in partner. No, their marriage and that their relationship was institutionalized. Saira, the bigger question then is that who has really failed this girl? It's a family who has failed this girl because the girl doesn't trust her parents or doesn't have a strong bonding with her parents, strong enough to confess that she's married already. Her husband fails her. Just about everybody is failing her.
Right. So, yes, good evening, Maria. I think, yes, I heard the other panelists speaking. The whole idea is not about whether that marriage was declared or whether it was institutionalized or not. The fight is about how we can avert, these unforeseen circumstances, these very unfortunate incidents, because here we, sometimes we trivialize conversation. Oh, the girl should have done this. Oh, the girl, should have done that. It's more of victim shaming. That why didn't she inform? Why didn't she come out, in the public domain? Here, I think we need to centralize and talk more about intimate partner violence. 1 in 3 women in India face domestic violence of some kind, whether it's in a marriage or whether it's in a relationship or any kind of intimate partner, relationship. And these things are not brought to light because the police also take it very lightly. They say, "Wo to internal matter hai, it's an internal matter, and why should we interfere?" So, moment we kind of strengthen our legal process and ensure that the police and all the other law enforcement agencies take this, with utter, strictness and take cognizance of the matter, then I think we'll be able to bring down these cases. And all these cases are the reported ones. What about the unreported ones of domestic violence and intimate partner violence?
It doesn't stop at domestic violence here, Saira. And we are not victim shaming when we say that if a marriage was institutionalized, then it's a very complex relationship that she has with everybody around her. And this is a woman who has been killed by her husband. And the husband's family is involved in, disposing of her body. So it's much more than just a case of domestic violence, which we have seen in the past.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So all these people, I think, need to be hauled up. All the parents are involved, the relatives and all the cousins.
Everybody
who helped hide the body in the fridge and everything. I think all of these people need to be made an example of so that it can act as a deterrent to future offenders or future criminals who think that they can get away with murder, who think they can get away with, murdering a wife or a partner. I think it is reprehensible.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
it needs to be condemned in the harshest manner.
Yes, Ashwini Dubey, one is the case of Shraddha Walker, where her partner chops her body off in 34 parts. And again, that is a case in which Shraddha's father is not aware that she has left Mumbai, has moved to Delhi, and is in a relationship of this nature. They know about a person called Aftab, but do not know the nature of this relationship. The other one is what we are seeing unfold in this particular case. You know, with every case of murder, these women are upwardly mobile. What makes them so vulnerable that they are not able to see through these men?
Maria, facts of the case may differ from one to the another. The interpretation on different perspective of the suitability may change from others one to the other. But the moot question is, in 2023, are we a society who can prevent this kind of abuse, misuse, murders, and the offenses against the women? Number two, in Shraddha Walker's case, Maria, there was a police complaint. Why am I talking about the preventive action? In Shraddha Walker's case, there was a police complaint filed before the police station in November 2021 or sometime where she has alleged that she may be killed. But police, instead of looking into this serious nature of the complaint, managed the entire show and let the accused go. Second, when the girls or the boys do not inform to their parents, and these kind of incident happens, then when the question comes that whether in the society are there the enough laws? Do we have a fair enough investigating agencies role which can prevent this kind of offense? And the third, the offenses which has happened in past, the logical end, the conviction by the court of law in a time-bound manner, and the advertisement or that has reached to the last man of this country so that these kind of offenses can be avoided, then of course the role of the executive comes into the play. Now third, this is a case of honor killing. This is the case where clear-cut honor killing from the side of the boy. So moment it was in the knowledge of the girl that this kind of, because this suddenly it has not evolved. Yes. It might have started few days back, but girl must have gone to her parents, and she should have told this story, and they have gone to the police. They should have gone to the police station.
Yes, it's 5 years. She would have seen those signs, Yashwardhan Azad, that the family is not ready to accept this relationship. They get married in 2020. The boy's family is out there to get him married to another person. You know, whatever said and done, what I'm seeing is, yes, it may be a case of honor killing, but there's something really going wrong in modern day relationships, that there's something horribly going wrong. Can it be seen as a murder in the fit of rage? May not be, because if he's not able to convince his parents, then why marry a woman at all? You know, it's very complex, and what fails me is, are we seeing these murder becoming more and more terrible and scary only because the entire family system is broken around us?
You see, as long as our hypocritical society refuses to accept live-in relationships, refuses to accept a divorced woman, refuses to accept breakdown of marriages, this will continue to happen. Lumping it on the enforcement agencies and saying why the police did not react is a little strange, because if that girl goes to the police and says, I may be killed, and the police takes a statement from her and she said, no, everything is all right, I don't want you to interfere. She tells her father also not to get involved when he goes and sees her. If the police goes and applies some methods to get that man and starts questioning him, immediately there'll be a backlash coming from the public that it is interfering in live-in relationships, and it is doing a kind of a moral shaming and things like that. And therefore, we have to look within. It has to be the parents of the girls who have to accept these things in today's society. If that girl is modern and wanted to be a lecturer, then her choices are absolutely independent, and the parents will have to respect that. The third point is that in this particular case, once it has been proved that he has been married, then definitely that fit of rage thing goes out of the window, and this becomes a premeditated and a planned murder for which there'll be maximum punishment. So I think we need to look at it a little seriously. The NGOs have to get involved, the TV channels have to get involved to encourage a serious debate that we have to accept the modern day things, and in this atomized society there has to be some changes.
That's very well put, in fact, Yashvardhan Azad. You know, the hypocrisy of our society is actually coming, it is getting exposed more and more at the cost of these young girls. Their aspirations, the one in this case wanted to become a professor, wanted to teach many others. Dr. Jayanti Datta, we are looking at this case, and the revelations show that that this is a man who may not be a hardened criminal, but his reaction is to kill his wife only because he doesn't want to upset the family equation with his parents.
See, I was listening to you. Indeed, the thing to be worried about is what kind of disconnect are we breeding in our nuclear family, so that an important milestone like marriage, the child takes the decision and doesn't convey it to the parents. So there is a loss of communication between the child and the family. And the other part, you know, now look at it, we have already lost the girl. And what is happening to this boy? He's also not been given a very cakewalk. He's going to ruin his life also. So both the families are going to be losers. So I think it's high time where we have to really look into this, and where are we missing out? Why the trust is disappearing between the children and the family. And you see, these kind of decisions taken, same kind of a thing happened with Shraddha also. There was a disconnect with the family and the child. And you see, then the third thing is, if yes, we are demanding a quick deliberation of the deterrent punishment to the perpetrator, but we have to think a little more deeply and find out where are we losing out. Why is these kind of cases are on the increase? Where is the missing part? You know, that emotive bonding is not there, whether it is in primary relationship or it is in romantic relationship. You see, how could you think of telling that I'm in love with you and go through the romantic phases, and then comes this kind of an end where you take your loved person, beloved one, to the Nigambod Ghat and kill her and put her in the freezer. And think of this, the similarities between the cases is horrifying.
Yes.
Because I look into the criminal psyche and I do go to organizations where I have to deliver this kind of insight to the uniformed officers, I'm more worried, because the similarities are, you see, Aftab also killed her and dated another girl in the same room where the pieces are there in the refrigerator, and he's proposing to go ahead with her. Similarly, this boy also kills her, puts her in the refrigerator,
and these men are completely remorseless.
Again,
there is no remorse whatsoever.
So this
there is that
where
emotional disconnect also, which is evident.
Yes.
But Jayanti Datta, then is this something to do with what we are seeing in current times, or are you of one of those who will say that the more the family as a unit changes, then it will be more women and, you know, the girls, and the relationship between the girl and her father, relationship between a girl and a mother changes, everything is changing.
It is. See, in my profession, I render therapeutic interventions to the families in crisis. And very often, the young ladies who come to me, they say, we can't go anywhere. Nobody is there to listen and understand us. You know, piles of such. The lines are going on increasing, and the boys are pressurized. All right, whether it is the family or it is the peer pressure, you know, there is a disconnect. The children don't know what to do, what would be the right thing. You know, earlier what used to happen, you had a very safe kind of an environment in the family. You could emotionally connect. If not with parents, you had so many other relatives with whom. Now today the family is nuclear in origin. Both the parents are working, and I'm handling such cases. I'm handling a 6-year-old girl who comes to me and tells me things about her mother. You'll be shocked to hear. I'm worried about this child. What will she be as a young girl when only child? Both the parents are educated, working. Paucity of money is not there. Whatever the child wants, he gets it. But that emotional connect, she comes and tells me that my mother doesn't give me what you are giving me. What is that? Oh, you talk to me so nicely. My mother doesn't have time. She doesn't take me out to the places I want. She tells me to do what she wants me to do. And if I don't do it, she's worse than my teachers. Now, if this is the emotional connect the child has, obviously at the fundamental base, at the mental level, she's isolated, insecure, and she doesn't know what to do.
Yes. So Yashvardhan Azad, and in this particular case of Sahil and this girl, Nikki Yadav, we also know that the one of the conspirators is a cop. Perhaps he gave that confidence to other members of the family, including Sahil, that they will be able to get away with, find a way out of this entire crisis. But the question is that, that fear factor, that is also missing. I mean, look at the sheer brazenness of this man, or audacity, or I don't know how to describe it, that he marries another woman on the same day. And in case of Aftab, as Jayanti Datta rightly put, he was dating other women in the same house while the body of Shraddha Walker was in the refrigerator.
Sometimes, Maria, this kind of a caste stranglehold, or what you call a caste grouping, also gives a sense of false, protection to the people, that they can get away with anything. And also in such semi-urban areas, if a cop comes and he's rooted in the same kind of, hierarchy and the customs, when he gives an assurance and he feels very proud of it because of it, then it comes as a feeling of great relief. I mean, this is sheer criminality and nothing else. And that's why I heard on your channel that he will be, of course, roped into 120B. That's a criminal conspiracy. And what I'm shocked is, Arya Samaj marriage has a validity of certificate.
Yes.
And it is a legal marriage recognized by the Hindu Marriage Act. And therefore, any other second marriage is invalid. And in this, if it has been cooperated, this whole thing has been, the conspirators have been indeed the father and the entire family, then I'm really shocked. And then again, what Dr. Datta is saying comes back to very, very strongly, echoing that sentiment, that if you have such a disconnect with your own mother, with your own father, that you can't be accepted even after a legal, valid marriage, then it's unfortunate. Then what can you and I do? And even then, in fact, it should have been the parents who should have reported to the police. And that would have been a very credible...
As a cop, tell me, are you seeing a rise in such cases?
Well, I'm deeply troubled, Maria, with the cases. Of course, they are rising as soon as they come. They have been discussed in the channels. Maybe there is more publicity these days. In our days, they used to come far and few. And as Dr. Datta rightly said, there was this family kind of protection. There was this family cushion over there. And therefore, sometimes the women could be saved in time, even if they were very, very unhappy. But I am deeply troubled. And last point I would certainly like to make is that, the police will have to come up with some better training, with better sensitivity to deal with the changing pattern of these cases as we are seeing every day. It can't be just that you see something and just treat it in a routine complaint the way you have been doing so far.
All right. Thank you so much for your time, Yashvardhan Azad, Dr. Jayanti Datta here in the studio, Saira Shah and Ashwini Dubey. Of course, this is a larger question of whether family as a unit has broken down completely. Why are we seeing rise in such cases of aspirational women who move in with the men that they love, but they are betrayed and they lose their lives? How unfortunate and sad it is. A story we'll continue to track very closely because there are several developments and twists and tales which are continuing to happen. Thanks so much for watching. I'll be seeing you in just a minute.